Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Rivera. This week for art, we're going to be talking about op art. So, op art means optical art or optical illusion art. It's art that plays tricks on your eyes to make it appear as something else. So, it mainly uses lines to trick our eyes, either by how thick or how thin the lines become. If you kind of follow, you can kind of see how the thick line turns thin, thick, and then thin again to create a 3D effect. So here's another example, how the lines make it seem like we're looking at a sphere, or in this case, a horse. Op art can also create the illusion of movement. So if you stare at this image, it appears to be moving along like waves. The dizzy effect that you feel when you look at some op art, it's called the Riley effect. It's named after the artist Bridget Riley, who helped make op art very famous in the 60s and 70s. So this week we're going to create an op art drawing. Today we are going to work on the first part, which is to draw the design that creates a 3D effect. And next week we would color it. So there's no need to color this week unless you want to. But if you do, make sure that you watch the directions. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to draw this. It looks very complicated, but it's actually a bunch of very simple steps.
All right, so now I'm going to show you guys how to draw the op art. First thing I want to do is, I'm using a paper here that's 9 by 12. So I'm going to draw kind of a border. You could do it with a ruler, but that way I don't have to fill up the entire paper. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a curved line across the middle of the paper. So we want to think of kind of like rolling hills, so we don't want to make them too steep. I'm going to draw 8 dots across my line, and I don't want to make them all equal, so some will be a little closer to others. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect each dot. And I usually suggest stopping. If you try to keep connecting them, it will get sloppy. And so I'm going to continue connecting them. One thing you might notice that I do is as it gets higher, I'm not really trying to connect it down to the dot. I'm just connecting to that little ridge where they both meet. And also, you want to make it big. If you make them too small, you're going to have to draw way more lines than if you draw it like I did. Right, so I filled it up all the way to the top of my box. Now I'm going to do the bottom. So there's 2 ways to do it. You can just do the opposite. You're still connecting the dots, but you're going under. The other option is you can just turn your paper around and do it. Since you're used to drawing it this way already, it might be a little easier. All right, and so now I am done with part 1. You do not need to color it this week. We will be doing that next week because we will be using, there'll be a certain way that we're going to color it in to create a 3D effect. So this is all that you would have to do this week, and then next week we're going to work on coloring it in.
All right, so next week I will show you guys how to color it in to create a 3D effect. As always, you want to make sure that you take a picture of your work and submit to Google Classroom Friday at 3 p.m. you have any questions, feel free to contact me via email or through Google Classroom. Have a good week, and I will talk to you guys next week.